Welcome to this in-depth exploration of the third and final canticle of Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy, Paradiso. This section represents the culmination of the poet's otherworldly journey, the culmination of a journey of purification and understanding. Paradiso is an ascent to divine bliss, an ecstatic and profoundly intellectual experience. Through the nine heavens and the Empyrean, Dante draws ever closer to understanding the ultimate truth. Our journey will be based on the analysis of selected cantos, which will allow us to grasp the essence of this extraordinary work. We will focus in particular on Dante's worldview, a complex system that unites science, philosophy, and medieval theology. We will also pay attention to the central theological themes that permeate each verse. This approach will allow us to uncover the complexity and depth of a work that centuries later continues to question us and illuminate our understanding of the divine and the human. Prepare yourself for an intellectual and spiritual journey where poetry becomes a vehicle for the highest speculation. Paradise opens with Dante and Beatrice's ascent from the heights of purgatory to the heavenly spheres. This elevation is not merely physical, but symbolizes spiritual and intellectual progress. The ascent is constantly guided and illuminated by divine light, a metaphor for grace and knowledge. It allows the two pilgrims to transcend earthly limitations and access higher dimensions. Dante's cosmological framework is fundamental to understanding the organization of paradise. It is based on the Ptolemaic system, which places the Earth at the center of the universe. Nine concentric heavens revolve around the Earth: the Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the heaven of the fixed stars, and the primum mobile. Beyond these is the Empyrean, the seat of God and the blessed. Each sphere is inhabited by hosts of blessed souls, whose placement reflects the varying intensity of their bliss. They are no less happy, but their joy is proportionate to their capacity to receive divine grace. Souls are ordered according to their degree of perfection, an organization that mirrors Dante's hierarchical worldview. This hierarchy is an expression of divine justice and order. Every creature occupies a specific place in universal harmony, participating uniquely in the cosmic plan. From the humblest of beings to the highest angel, each element has an irreplaceable function. This universal harmony is directly willed by God, who is its architect and prime mover. Dante expresses a providential and teleological vision of existence where everything tends toward its ultimate end. This cosmological system is not merely a scientific construct, rather, it is a powerful metaphor for divine perfection and order. The entire universe is a reflection of God's mind. The progressive ascent through these heavens allows Dante to experience different manifestations of divine glory, gradually approaching the contemplation of the Trinity. Dante's theology permeates every canto of Paradiso, elevating the work to a profound doctrinal treatise. Dante is not just a poet, but a theologian exploring the mysteries of the Christian faith. We will explore crucial themes at the heart of medieval theological debate. The Divine Comedy is a compendium of the Catholic doctrine of the time. Divine grace is one of the fundamental concepts. It is the driving force that allows Dante to ascend and understand, a free gift from God that makes salvation and bliss possible. Another complex topic is predestination, the doctrine that God has predetermined from eternity who will be saved. Dante discusses it with St. Thomas Aquinas, attempting to reconcile it with free will. Divine justice is constantly at the forefront. It is not a human justice, but an incomprehensible perfection that governs the universe and assigns each blessed soul their own degree of joy. Divine love is the driving force of the entire universe, the force that moves the sun and the other stars. It is the very essence of God and the source of all bliss, binding all creatures to itself. The souls encountered in the various heavens present different nuances of earthly experience. Dante engages in dialogue with historical, mythological, and biblical figures, each with their own life story and faith. These different experiences reflect the complexity of human nature and the multiple paths through which men can reach God. Each blessed person is an example of virtue or error overcome. For example, in the Heaven of Venus, Dante encounters souls who in life were characterized by intense earthly passion. They were driven by love, albeit not always in a perfectly regulated way. These souls, however, are now purified and enlightened by divine love. Their earthly imperfection has been transformed into perfect joy, demonstrating God's mercy and justice. Dante shows how even human passions, if properly directed and purified, can lead to bliss. There is no condemnation for love itself, but for its disorder. The constant presence of these theological themes makes Paradiso a work of high philosophical and religious speculation. It is a treatise in verse on the nature of God and man. Each meeting and each dialogue are opportunities to delve deeper into an aspect of the doctrine, making the reader part of a sublime learning experience. Dante's worldview is profoundly influenced by Aristotelian philosophy. He draws on the Aristotelian corpus mediated by Thomistic reworkings which had Christianized it. She is also deeply influenced by Christian theology, particularly that of St. Thomas Aquinas and St. Augustine. These two currents merge in her personal synthesis. The poet constantly seeks to reconcile reason and faith, recognizing the limitations of the former and the necessity of the latter. Faith complements reason, illuminating it on revealed truths. Use philosophy to understand the truth revealed by religion, not to contradict it. Reason is a divine gift that prepares the intellect to receive faith. Light is a recurring and omnipresent symbol in paradise, taking on multiple meanings. It is the medium through which Dante perceives and understands the divine. Light represents divine knowledge, the illumination that allows the human intellect to rise above earthly limitations. It is synonymous with truth and wisdom. It also represents spiritual enlightenment, the grace that transforms the soul and makes it worthy of bliss. The vision of the divine is always mediated by light. Dante's ascent is, therefore, a path of progressive understanding where each heaven offers greater clarity and a deeper intuition of eternal truths. It is a journey toward the knowledge of God, the supreme good, and his ineffable essence. Dante aspires to see God face to face, transcending every veil. It is also a journey toward understanding his creation, an investigation into the order and harmony that permeate the universe. All creation is a manifestation of divine glory. Beatrice, an angelic and theological figure, is the guide who leads Dante through these celestial realms. She is a symbol of grace, faith, and theology itself. Paradiso is a celebration of the perfect harmony between reason and faith, between science and theology. Dante shows how these disciplines are not in opposition, but rather complementary. Dante's poetry thus becomes a vehicle for profound metaphysical reflection, offering a model of integral knowledge. The selected cantos of Paradiso offer us invaluable insights into the nature of love, understood both as the driving force of the universe and as the foundation of bliss. Love is the ordering principle of all things. They allow us to reflect on the nature of divine justice, not always comprehensible to the human intellect, but always perfect and merciful. It transcends our limitations. They also offer insights into the nature of divine will, inscrutable yet always oriented toward good and the creation of harmony. Everything proceeds from God's will. Dante addresses extremely complex theological questions that have fueled centuries of debate. His work is a continuous dialogue with philosophical and theological tradition. Clear examples are the discussions on free will and predestination, crucial issues in Christian doctrine. Dante seeks to resolve these contradictions through revelation. These questions are addressed not with dry treatises, but through lively and profound dialogues with blessed souls. These exchanges make theology accessible and engaging, and through personal reflections that the poet offers to the reader, sharing his doubts and discoveries. The journey is also an experience of inner growth. Paradise is not just a detailed description of the celestial kingdom and its hierarchies. It is much more than a mere topography of the afterlife. It is also a profound exploration of the human condition, its highest aspirations, and its search for meaning. Man is a being oriented toward the transcendent. It is ultimately an exploration of man's relationship with the divine, of the possibility of a mystical and intellectual union with God. It is the pinnacle of the relationship between creation and creator. Through his sublime poetry, Dante invites us to raise our gaze, to transcend earthly contingencies, and to contemplate the order and beauty of the divine universe. Reading Paradiso is not just a cultural act, but a transformative experience that stimulates the mind and nourishes the spirit. It shows us the path to higher knowledge. With this reflection, we hope we've offered you new perspectives on the extraordinary richness of Dante's Paradise. We thank you for your attention and for joining us on this journey.